Let us see what it is to live on the earth whilst being at the same time under the sway of the celestial gravitational field. The soul is suspended between heaven and earth. It experiences complete solitude. For here it is no longer a matter of ordinary solitude, where one is alone in the world, but rather of complete solitude, where one is alone because one is outside of the world, the celestial as well as the terrestrial world. It is 6 golden years since the war ended, and over the past few months I have seen the face of the Tetrarch more than ever before. At the cusp of each full moon he sends asses laden with oil, honey, and wheat when it is ripe, everything the colour of the sun as a votive for the deity. That is in addition to his regular donations of gold and Thessaly's payment for our new buildings and repair works. We accept his gifts as they are due, and I needs must remind myself that the Tetrarch is a man with a mission. His urgent need to see me stems from his determination to see this through, not because of any particular devotion to me personally. He visits me more often because of a pressing question, and whilst I fear to disappoint so great a patron in his ardent queries, I sense that he is disappointed. It is 3 years now since he began to formulate questions about the possible foundation of a colony in Thrace, but the oracle has yet to spell success in such a venture. All agree that it is strange, and I wonder if there is not something else more truly on his mind than this. As everyone knows, the only question man may put to Apollo is that which resides in the utmost depth of his heart. The colony, our priests have agreed in their wisdom, is beside the point, though what the point is none will say. It is for the suppliant to ask the question which most needs answering, not for us to formulate queries for him. This cannot quiet the voices that are heard along the sacred way, however, because the Tetrarch is a man of great fame in these parts, and many are watching expectantly for his next move. Greeks are alike in their search for glory, and there are those who think he's been champing at the bit since his victory over Chrysaor. Whilst much is said of his prowess on the battlefield, like any great man he has enemies and detractors along with friends and allies. Once when I was sitting by the statue of Athena accompanied by Timocrates, we overheard the elder Dorian councillor remark to a priest of Phocis that the Tetrarch's father fears a possible expedition, for there are many pirates at sea, and rich pickings are to be had from noble voyages. Timocrates smiled in amusement as he listened to the grumbling old men, and neither did I pay heed, for everyone knows how much the Dorians and Phocians are jealous of Thessaly, since the League took control of Delphi. Nonetheless, it falls upon the Tetrarch to persist with his votives and queries until such times the god gives favour to his mission, whenever it may be. I wonder what might become of us all were he to take flight overseas. Who, then, would safeguard Apollo's sanctuary and sustain my vivid dreams? If truth be told, the thought of him moving overseas leaves me desolate, and if I had power within me to either keep him here or follow him there, surely I would exercise it. Happily for my earthly existence, the oracle has so far rescued me from having to make such a dire choice. I am confident, in fact, that the god does not wish him to depart until such times as the safety of Delphi is assured for all of eternity. Whatever the case may be, it is a complex matter, and until the wind changes, he is forced to content himself with training horsemen for the defence of his region and sending precious gifts to the sanctuaries of Apollo and Demeter. He has endeared himself to us greatly in this way, and while the Boeotians worry about controlling neighbouring cities and dwell upon the problem of how to build a navy on their harbourless shores, Thessaly holds undisputed sway over this, the greatest place on earth. The Tetrarch has for long been on friendly terms with Cleisthenes of Sicyon, a man of extraordinary wealth, greater ambition, and an ever more glorious destiny ahead of him. Cleisthenes recently completed the building of a treasury here at Delphi, a more colourful and elaborate a show of riches is nowhere to be seen. The craftsmanship of Sicyon's Ionian artisans is second to none, and all who visit this place now pause to admire its awesome friezes and miraculous painted statues. Cleisthenes cannot help but excel at each and everything he turns his hand to. On the occasions where we met, I found the Tyrannos to be an obviously powerful but entertaining individual for the most part, because his boundless self-regard has made him into a great showman. Everyone admires him, especially Cleisthenes himself, says my observant sister Thalia. Mindful that the younger Tetrarch is burning with ambitious zeal while Delphi is covered in glory, the Tyrannos has been distracting him with popular motion to expand the Pythian Games, which were reinstated to celebrate the victory of the League over Chrysaor. He hopes they shall one day exceed the Olympic Games in splendour. One of the few hopes that Cleisthenes of Sicyon shall not see fulfilled, not as far as the annals of history are concerned, for I have seen very clearly that the Olympics shall love us all. I am so certain of this that it surprises me into saying nothing about it to anyone. Nevertheless, his tremendous plans for the games, which shall henceforth go far beyond singing, dancing, and other artistic endeavours, have already been set in motion, the response from the god to this suggestion having been wholly favourable. Work on the new hippodrome is almost complete, and the first chariot races shall be held there at the height of summer, in the month of Bacchatios. The Tetrarch, like every other man, has comprehensive plans to win the laurels for himself, but I know that it is Cleisthenes who shall excel at the chariot. And yet the sacred laurels themselves shall be brought from trees grown in the Vale of Tempe, the Tetrarch's own lands in Thessaly. The games are an occasion we all look forward to, for such a spectacle as this will never before have been seen. My sisters and I could give the current entrants a good challenge for the medals at prose, poetry, or play, though we are not permitted to enter ourselves, and I am fascinated to see which men will dare recite new paeans beneath the unflinching gaze of the god of all lyric arts. Who but one of us could excel at such a thing at this place? I wondered out loud to my sisters one evening. Most of them smiled and made sharp comments about tongue-tied men, but it was Calliope's voice we all heeded. He will surely come one day, he that exceeds us all in the beauty of his song. Clio agreed, and history insists that where and whenever there is excellence shall follow a phase of decline, for that is the way the wheel of destiny turns. It stands to reason that these halcyon days will at some point come to an end, so another might be master of man and the universe. If you ask the Babylonian, he'll tell you how to calculate the star signs and find out more of the probable future, Urania commented vaguely, almost to herself, for she knew that none of us could fathom his complicated instruments as well as she was able. In any case, I was mindful of Timocrates' warning that to examine time from a fixed perspective could only result in disaster for one such as I, who travels between dimensions through all of space, beyond the dreadful tyranny of clocks. Well, I for one would gladly give up all our crowns, and lay down a path of laurels for one glimpse of such a man, Erato spoke with great enthusiasm, thus making light of the other's portents. Whatever else happens at the games,